Welcome! We're about to dive into an idea that might just fundamentally change how you think about leadership. See, it's not about being the best doer in the room, not at all. It's about becoming the best empowerer. This is how to lead through others. So let me start with a question that might sound a little backward. What if the key to making a bigger impact, to being way more effective, wasn't about you working harder or putting in more hours? What if the secret to doing more was actually for you to do less? This right here, this is the core idea. Just let that sink in for a second. Your true effectiveness as a leader isn't about your personal to-do list. It's measured by how well you equip and empower other people to take the lead. It's a total paradigm shift, really. You're moving your focus from your own output to the incredible output you can inspire in your whole team. We call this the leader's great shift. It's all about learning to lead through your people, not instead of them. It's about building them up so they can carry the vision forward, sometimes in ways you never even imagined. And we can break this whole concept down into 3 core pillars. Okay, our first pillar is delegation with trust. And this one is the absolute foundation. You gotta get this right, because without it, you can't really multiply your impact. You're just a highly effective person with a fancy title. The real work of leading through others starts right here. Now, it's so important to understand the difference between just dumping tasks on someone and truly entrusting them with responsibility. See, dumping tasks, that's just giving away work to get some short-term relief. But entrusting responsibility, that's about giving away control. You're not just focused on getting something done, you're focused on building that person's capability for the long haul. The difference is just massive. So how do we do it the right way? Well, it comes down to 3 pretty powerful steps. First, you have to be crystal clear about your expectations. What does a win look like? Second, you have to give them the authority that matches the responsibility. Don't give them a job to do and then tie their hands. And finally, and this is often the hardest part for leaders, you have to step back. You've got to resist that urge to micromanage. Trust your people, let them find their own way to the goal. So, once you've delegated with trust, you need a way to make sure everything stays on track. And that brings us to pillar 2, accountability with grace. You can think of trust and accountability as partners, really. You can't have one without the other. But let's redefine what accountability means here. It is not a tool for control. It is not about assigning blame when things go sideways. In this model, it's actually the complete opposite. It's a system of support. It's a framework for growth. And it's a mutual promise to see the work through, together. So what does that look like in practice? It's not about hovering over people's shoulders. It's about creating a healthy rhythm of communication. Regular check-ins to make sure you're both still aligned, having honest conversations to work through challenges, and, when it's needed, offering gentle, constructive correction. The goal is always, always to build them up and encourage them, never to tear them down. And all of that leads us to our final and, honestly, our most powerful pillar. If you get the first 2 pillars right, this is the incredible result you unlock. Pillar 3, creating a culture of ownership. This is where people don't just do their jobs, they own their roles. I want you to really think about this line. Compliance is temporary, ownership is forever. See, compliance is getting people to do what you tell them, but it only lasts as long as you're watching. Ownership, though, man, that's when people start acting like it's their own business. They take initiative, they feel this deep sense of personal responsibility. That lasts. And you get there by affirming the effort, the faithfulness, not just the final numbers on a spreadsheet. This shows people that you value their commitment. You also actively invite their input and feedback, which proves their voice matters. And you make sure to celebrate wins together, as a team, reinforcing that every success is a shared victory, not a solo performance. So, let's bring this all together. When you really master these 3 pillars, you don't just become a better manager. No, you create a lasting impact that goes so far beyond what you could ever accomplish by yourself. So remember these 3 pillars. You've got delegation with trust, which is how you multiply your efforts. Then there's accountability with grace, which keeps everyone supported and moving in the same direction. And finally, a culture of ownership, which creates a team that drives the mission forward with real passion. And that really brings us to the most important part of this whole thing. Because just knowing this stuff isn't enough, right? It's only powerful when you actually apply it. So I'll just leave you with this one final question to think about. Who on your team can you empower starting today?